now let's get to a bit more complicated things, which is your pensions and investments, right? So, so we covered a bit about plots and lands in deposits discussion, but this is a tricky piece. So if you're holding onto land, or what we call plots in Pakistan, that is just for the purpose of investment, and you're not using it for, you're not using it for generating rental income, agriculture, or some other purpose, some other commercial activity, and it's just sitting there, then zakat is due on that. And you don't need to, and a whole year does not need to pass on that as well. The date you usually decide, like when you pay zakat, let's say we talked about here Ramadan 29th. Ramadan 29th, if you bought, let's say Ramadan 1st, you bought a plot and it's sitting there Ramadan 29th, you will pay zakat on that. And it's going to be on the market value. It's not going to be on your purchase price. That is very important. So right now with the COVID-19, let's say markets around the world have gone down, and you bought a land for 100,000 about a month ago, and now it's sitting on 50,000. That's what you're going to pay zakat on, not on the 100,000. Okay, the zakat is due on such kind of land. However, if the land is being used for some other purpose, like for instance, the land is being used for business, you've rented it out for a parking lot or some other purpose, agriculture, people are harvesting stuff on it, or you are, you build a house on it and the house is rented out, then there's no zakat due on it. Okay, let's move on. Stocks and shares, right? So again, shares and stocks, zakat is due on it. The easier way to do it is just the market value of the items right now that you have in stocks and just take out 2.5%. There is another way, which is for if you only invested in one company and you are able to access the information of the company, which is their annual report, and you can assess that, you can basically remove their assets. But that's if you're in that situation, you can contact me and we can discuss that. But I mean, it's the easier way is whatever the market value right now is for stocks and shares that you own, you just put the market value in, and zakat will be calculated that at 2.5%. Okay. Savings plans and insurance. Again, if you have any savings plans, I mean, sometimes now the tricky part with savings plan is that they always charge you so one is that sometimes savings plans you cannot take it out right now. They said there's no way you can remove it. It's either you stop paying contributions and it stays like that till you get to a certain age or a certain time. That's one. The second case is where you can take it out, but there's a surrender value, right? So they will make deductions for whatever charges or loss of income, whatever. They'll make the calculation and they'll give you the rest of the money. So if it's a second case, then you just need to put in the surrender value. So for instance, it was 5,000 is the money that's sitting there in the savings plan, but the surrender value is 30,000. That's what's going to go into here, right? So that is going to be, and zakat is due on that because that is basically your savings. That, I mean, the name itself says it's savings. So you need to make sure that you have that in your calculation. And then sometimes, as I mentioned, there are plans which are which you cannot take money out of, right? I mean, there's no way. The money is sitting there, and they say only when you get to a certain age you'll get the money. So then, on that is disagreement amongst the ulama as well. Like some say it's better to get zakat out because ultimately you're going to get it, but others say you don't know. I mean, how long your life will be. You'll get it, or your children will get it. What's going to happen? So the zakat is due when you get it, right? So that's a more different discussion. But usually these days, this kind of saving plans you're getting, almost all of them have these surrender values, right? So it's like you can walk out. That's how they made them attractive. Like whenever you need the money, you can access the money in certain ways, right? Lastly, gratuity and pension. So gratuity or pension is basically retirement money, right? Broadly speaking, there are two types of pensions are two kinds of retirement money. One is basically where you're going to get a defined income. So these are usually government plans where they say that, okay, this person attains the age of 65, whatever. And at the end of the month, or every month, they're going to be paid, let's say 10,000, 20,000, whatever. And that's just an income they're going to keep on getting for the rest of their life. So on that, there is no zakat. Because I mean, it's just going to be at that, when they get that income every month, and at the end of the year, how much savings they have, they're going to pay on it. Because they're not getting any lump sum or anything. Now, the second type of pension where they're getting a lump sum amount, right? So this one goes back again to a savings plan. So if you're getting the lump sum amount, but the lump sum amount is only going to be possible when you attain a certain age, like 55, 60, 65, whatever the age is, and you get the lump sum on that. What you need to do is you need to calculate zakat beforehand. So because this is a money that's going to come. Now, when you pay zakat is different. That's where I said the scholars have a disagreement. So you can pay zakat right now. So let's say someone had, I put in a number here, 100,000. They put in pension lump sum right now. So they cannot take it out. But that 100,000, the zakat on that is 2,500. So the 2,500 can be paid right now. But according to another opinion, they don't have to pay this 2,500 right now. But when they get the money, inshallah, when they get to that age and they retire and they have the money, then they need to pay this 2,500 for this year. So for instance, this year 2,500, next year this increases to 200,000. It's up to 50,000. I mean, it keeps on growing till you get to a point. And so then you keep on calculating. I have 2,500 here, and then I had like 5,000 in this year, and so these years keep on going down. And so at end of 2025 is whatever the amount is, the whole amount. And here, let's say for instance, you had 2 million sitting at the age of retirement, and it's 50,000. But this 50,000 is going to be for that year. But the previous years, you need to pay that out. Now, some people think, oh, this is going to be a lot of amount. How can you say 2.5% every year? That's 2.5% into, I don't know, multiplied by 20. That's going to get up to, it's going to be like, let me just do a calculation here for you. Let's say 2.5 into 30, right? You take this number. So that's almost like they'll say, oh, 75% of my income will be gone. That's not true. What's happening is that your income is growing as well every year. So one year it was 100,000. The next year it became 200,000, and so on, and kept on going 3 here. And so 2.5 is on this one, not on. So it's not like 75% of your 2 million. Okay, it's 2.5% on this, and so that it's less than that. And secondly, you don't even know if you're going to get this money, right? By paying zakat, at least you have this peace of mind that, if Allah wills, inshallah, you'll get it because you've done your part in protecting it. So anyways, if because of cash flow issues, you cannot do that right now, you can, at the end, once you get this money, you can pay it. Now, zakat on this will be due. That we need to keep in mind. But you're not, you have this rukhsah, or you have this ease with it. You cannot do it, you cannot pay right now because the money is not with you. Because typically the idea is the money, you have the money, and then you take out a portion and give it away. So right now you don't have custody of this, and there are very restrictions on your getting access to this as well, right? You don't even have access to it. So that further makes it very problematic for you to pay zakat. So, but you can calculate that because once you get it, it's been accumulated over a number of years. And so that needs to be keep in mind. The other thing you need to keep in mind is that, for instance, God forbid someone passes away before they get this money. And this money now goes to their beneficiaries, usually, mostly. Pension plans have that, a designated person to whom, like a spouse or children, depends who this money goes to. If that happens, then that money, they will have to take out the zakat. So they need to keep in mind that this zakat was owed, and they have to pay that or remove that. Okay, so I'll stop here, and let me know if this is helpful. If you need additional guidance, you want to discuss something else, a unique situation, just drop me an email on my email address I mentioned earlier on usman.sohrawardy@gmail.com, and we can see. Just one thing, notes. So I didn't put anything here right now, but you can use this as reminders. A tab where you can say, where you're getting the information from. Sometimes, you do this exercise every year and then you come back to it and you're like, oh, where did I get the number from? So these are just reminders for you that I pulled this off from this website. I got this from here, from that document, in that file, in that email, that kind of stuff, right? And the zakat paid here. So this is like 1,000 I discussed earlier that was appearing here. So you just to remind, like during the year you're paying, let's say, so maybe John Smith. Inshallah, you can what it is. So John Smith, and you pay him 1,000, and as zakat in the year, and so that's basically here. You put in the name of the person or the entity. If you give it to a foundation, whatever foundation, certain hospital and all that, that is eligible for zakat, and you put this there, and then so that just gets added onto it, and so it will be here or here. Sorry. Okay. So with that, I'll end it here, and hopefully this video was beneficial for you. If you need any additional guidance, have questions, feel free to get in touch with me. Thank you very much.